I'm Amanda McLaren, and this is the Papaya Pod.
Welcome back to the Papaya Pod. We've got an exciting first episode coming today. As you can see, the normal lovely face of Jamie isn't on you. You'll have to make do with myself, James, and Keith. First episode of Indycar. I'm really
Yeah,
excited, Keith. How about you?
I am excited. I'm counting down the days. We've got only a couple of days left before we see those amazing cars hitting that circuit.
Yeah, we got a pato number of days, as they would say, Keith. 5 days.
We've got the Pato days yet. We're down to 5 days, and then we get 27 cars with 27 drivers racing like lunatics.
Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. It's going to be an absolutely amazing season.
It is.
Um, I'm not going to bore people by talking too much about last year. I mean, last year's done. We're coming into a new year, but obviously, what we got to look at is
Yeah.
Alex Palou. Um,
Yeah.
three championships in a row. His fourth
Yeah.
in total.
hmm
The big question we got coming into this year is, can anyone actually stop him?
Well, willpower, brand new team. Will that be enough to give him the energy that he wants and the zest to go out and prove a point? We've had some changes. We've definitely had some changes. We had quite a few moves, didn't we, in the silly season?
Yeah, which leaves me perfect into the opening that I wanted to start on, Keith. What better place to look at than the new drivers that we
Yeah,
have? And we'll
yeah.
start off with the man you just mentioned, I suppose. I would say probably arguably the biggest move of the
Mm,
off season.
mm.
Will Power, of course, after he felt like he'd been there at Team Penske since God was a boy. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
a good old period of time. Um, Fourth, the history of Will Power speaks for itself, really, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Indy 500 winner,
yeah,
two-time Indy champion.
yeah,
Um, if my memory serves me correct, he's fourth in IndyCar historic wins, and podiums.
yep,
Pole, sorry.
yep.
Um, Quite a resume. It's not easy done. The longevity in his career and still what I would say is arguably the desire to win. Um,
Definitely,
he's going
definitely.
to go down as a great for sure.
And let's be honest, he's had a lot of family issues over the few years as well, and he's stood by his family, looking after everybody, and still racing at the top of his game. So I just think it's going to be fantastic. But while we're on, let's talk about Will for just a couple of seconds more. So Will was born in 1980. Not that I'm a stalker, but I'm just letting you know he was born in 1980. And then you've got Nolan Siegel driving for our team that was born in 2004. Look at the age range of that IndyCar grid compared to the Formula One grid. You know what I mean, James? It's just
Yeah, it's incredible.
it's
I mean,
incredible. 1980 baby to
yeah,
2004 baby racing on the same tracks. It's incredible, and it
I
just
mean the
shows that
nearest
level of
we've
racing.
sort of
And
got really in
yeah,
Formula One to compare would be your Fernando Alonso
yeah,
and Arvid Lindblad.
yeah,
That would
yeah,
be the comparison there.
yeah.
Without looking, I wouldn't know the difference in the age there, but it's probably within the same regions if I was
It's
to go out
probably
on a
not
limb.
far off, but I just think that way that they're so competitive in IndyCar as well, and
Yeah,
Will still got that want and that desire to race and race hard. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to, and of course, new
yeah,
rookies
for
coming in.
sure.
Mm,
So to wrap up on Will Power then, obviously leaving Pence, coming to Andretti.
yep.
I don't know if you've seen the comments he's made. He's sort of saying within 2 years he sees them being the competitive team to win. Obviously they got a couple of wins last year with Cal Kirkwood.
Yep.
Um, for me, I always take that with a pinch of salt if a driver comes out. I mean, especially with a new team, because part of me thinks, is he saying it to keep the team happy, to bring sponsors in? But
Yeah.
then with the want for success with Will Power, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I think he's seen something in that car, in what they're doing behind the scenes to make him think that they're going to win. Otherwise, why would he choose Andretti? He isn't going to go to Andretti if he doesn't think he can get back on that top step.
You're
Um,
absolutely right, buddy. And perhaps, going from a team that he'd been there for so long and then coming into the new team and looking at their infrastructure, the way that they've got their team geared up, maybe he's just feeling those vibes and says, this is a team that want to win. They've not, they don't just go, oh, it's going to happen. This is maybe a team that's going, we are going to make this happen. Perhaps he's got that confidence in his team that's going to
Yeah.
push him forward, with spares, repairs, that car being optimum performance. And yeah, that we know there's been a few Penske issues about cars over the last few years, but
Only one or two, Keith, one or two.
but this is a new brush, new team. Let's see him sweep that floor. Let's see him go. Let's see him moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, it seemed really strange to see him finish ninth in the championship last year.
it did. It was a
For
bit low down,
willpower,
wasn't
that's unheard
it?
of.
Mm.
Fresh start at Andretti. The name Andretti is synonymous with IndyCar.
Yeah,
I mean, for me personally, I've never been a big fan of supporting multiple teams, so I wouldn't go as far as saying I would support Andretti, but I would always have that sort of close eye on what they're doing.
yeah.
Um, the likes of Mario Andretti. I mean, I love him or hate him, I suppose. I mean, if he was an AJ Foyt fan, you probably wouldn't have been too happy about Mario back in the day. But you can't take away what he's done for the sport.
No, you can't. And a little secret here, James. I met him last year in the hotel at Indycar. I met him.
Believe I remember you saying this to me.
Yeah, and
This stray off slightly. Let's give a little bit into that story. How was that? How was he?
it was such an experience. And I'm going to call it the view from a wheelchair as well, James, because could I have done it on my own? Probably. It was much better to have somebody with me, and the lovely Gemma. She came with me, but it was that experience. Can a wheelchair user from the UK get all the way to Indy without any hiccups and enjoy the race? Well, the simple answer to this is absolutely you can. It was seamless, it was effortless. And they don't just call it the greatest spectacle for nothing at Indy 500, because their staff, a big shout out to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway team and the staff. Honestly, I had the best view possible. I was in an accessible grandstand right in front of the start and finish line. I could see everything. It was comfortable. I didn't have to struggle around the circuit. A golf cart turned up with a ramp on it. He said, right, where do you want to go, sir? Oh, I'd like to go to shopping. I want to go to the infield. Do you know, James, if England, if the UK or Formula One could match that, then I would be the happiest person in the world. But do you know what? If you are a disabled person, or if you're anybody that's thinking, can I do this? Is it okay to do it? Do you know what? You can. And you will be part of the most amazing spectacle in racing. I promise you. It will be a lifelong dream for everybody.
And that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Everyone should have the ability and the
Yeah,
opportunity to be able to do this.
absolutely.
It's not going to gone unnoticed over the years that this has been a common hiccup from Silverstone, just
Uh-huh.
to stray
Yeah,
slightly onto Formula One.
yeah,
I'm fortunate to be going this year. It's the first time I've been there for a race weekend, but I've heard many a story from, as you say, people in wheelchair users.
yeah,
Um, and it's not good, and it's nice to see Indianapolis and IndyCar
yeah,
um,
yeah.
showing
I
up
mean,
Formula One from that aspect, if you suppose. I mean, it's always
yeah,
sold that Formula One is the best, but IndyCar is really teaching them there what you need to be doing to give that fan experience. Just buying tickets is exactly the same. To buy
yeah,
tickets, I mean, I can buy tickets for myself and uh, my boy was also a mad McLaren fan, as you know.
yeah.
And it would be cheaper to fly to one of the United States races, stay for 3 days or 4 days, whatever the package looks
Hmm.
like, and get the VIP
Yeah,
garage tickets than
yeah.
what it would to get general access in
Hmm.
Silverstone. It's mental, absolutely mental.
It is, and unfortunately, I did break my wheelchair in Silverstone. My wheelchair broke, and luckily, my son's an engineer and was able to get it sorted so we could at least get back to the car. But that's a whole different story. But over there, you're absolutely right. You won't have a broken wheelchair, you won't have a broken scooter, and you won't break the bank, ladies and gents. And you heard that here. I went to Indy, James, as you know, we went for almost 7 days, cheaper than my ticket was for Silverstone.
Yeah, it's
And that
absolutely
included my
shocking.
flights, my transfers, and my taxis to and fro the circuit.
Yeah. That's all we can hope is at some point they're going to take notice and do something about it. But I'm not holding hope on that. Not just yet, anyway.
Yeah, no. Anyway, this isn't. We're not. We, we're going to do this. IndyCar's well worth a visit and it's well worth a watch. Get
It
into
is.
IndyCar, ladies and
It is
gentlemen.
most definitely, and we'll get back to the silly season as you said.
Yeah.
So Will Power's replacement at Team Penske,
Yep.
little Dave Malukas.
Dave Malukas.
Very interested to see how he does here with a capable car underneath him, or a
Yeah.
more capable car, I should say, because that's no disrespect whatsoever on AJ
No,
Foyt's
no, no.
racing. But clearly Penske is in a different level that
Yeah.
that we are talking about here. What I'm most interested to see is there's no doubt that Dave has that talent,
Oh, yeah.
ability.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him with two legitimate winners as teammates and seeing how he stacks up.
There's now
Because let's
there
be
it is.
honest, to come in here as the young guy, you're going to learn so much from the likes of Scott McLaughlin and Joseph Newgarden,
Hmm.
but you could also very easily look like a dead weight. And this is what I'm interested in seeing. Can he
Yeah.
compete? Can he
And
make himself look like he like he earns that spot, like he is the
mm,
future?
we know
Um,
when he's got when everything was working well, we know he can drive. We know he can be very, very fast. And now what he needs is that team behind him. And as you say, this is no shame on any other team, but maybe again, having a new team, a new team manager, a new engineer might be what Dave needs to push him. And then of course we've got Rinus VK that's moved over as well in the off season.
yeah, I mean, Rinus VeeKay, another very talented driver that
Yeah,
was rumored with a lot of these available seats that was coming up.
yeah.
Of course, he's gone to I'm going to butcher the pronunciation here. Junkas Hollinger Racing, I believe. That's how I'm saying it.
I'm glad you said
Slightly,
it. I'm
if
glad
you
you
feel
said
like
it.
yeah, yeah. We've also got another driver that has history there later on that we're going to come on to.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, Arenas, a very interesting
yeah,
sort of driver there.
yeah,
Again, kind of similar to Dave Malukas from the perspective
yeah,
of you can't question his talent and ability, but he hasn't quite had that team to push him the
yeah,
next step.
yeah,
And he's going to have a lot of the American eyes on him, of course, because
yeah,
he's sort of replacing fan favourite Connor Daly, who, of course, is without the seat to the season. So I'm
mm.
sure a lot of the eyes will be on
Mm.
him. How do you think he will sort of will he progress going there?
I, I think I'd like to think he might. I'd like to see him sticking his elbows out again. Because yeah, again, he's another driver that can.
Yeah,
But what we do know is for a lot of drivers, and I think this is across the board here, James. I don't think this matters if it's Formula One, Indy, GT racing. When a driver seems to get in with a team where he feels connected completely with that team, um, he feels part of that mechanical cog. It gives them extra speed, doesn't it? It gives them that, that maybe they need that security, and it gives them that extra push. So maybe these little changes could make big changes.
yeah, for sure. I mean, he's shown he has the ability to put
Mm,
himself with the big boys. Then, I mean,
yeah,
he only had the one podium last season, but he put the car there.
he did,
Many
and
people.
it was a good shocker as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it caught a couple of people unawares,
Mm,
which I suppose put him into that bracket of could he have gone to Penske this year? Could he have gone to Andretti? I
mm,
mean, these were sort of the talks going out there.
yeah,
Um, I would love to see him at a bigger team, but I think
yeah,
another season at those sort of mid teams could be what he needs to legitimately put himself up there
yeah,
for one of those bigger seats coming forward. Because
yeah,
we've got no doubt. I mean, there's big talks about Joseph Newgarden. He's in a contract year. Is he going to hang around next year? I suppose it depends on if he's in a winning car.
yeah.
Um,
I think so.
there's Marcus Ericsson at Andretti, another seat that's sort of in question.
Yeah,
Um, so there is, Nolan Siegel. We'll come on to McLaren later on.
yeah.
Tony
Nolan's
Kanaan has come out and sort of said we need to see him achieve this year.
he needs to perform. Yeah, we need to see him performing.
So there could very well be a big seat coming up next year. So it is
There,
going to be a big season for a lot of the rookies and
yeah,
for guys like Greenus that perhaps want that bigger seat to springboard himself to challenge.
yeah, yeah. We have got so much of this. We've got that ability, haven't we? We've got I know we're going to talk about later, but we've also got like the likes of Mick Schumacher coming up. You know, he wants to make a statement, doesn't he? He wants to
Yeah,
be seen as a very, very competent single seat racer. We know the guy can drive. We've seen him drive. We've seen him in F1. We know he can drive. But
very much so. And you
yeah.
just led nicely into the first rookie I was going to talk about, because as Will Power was probably the biggest signing, I would
Mm,
arguably say, for me personally, since I followed IndyCar, which is probably about 3 to 4 years,
mm,
not massive. But in those years, certainly, I would say Mick Schumacher has more publicity, attention, hype than probably any other rookie that's come into IndyCar,
yeah.
in my recent memory, anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
he's a big name. He comes from a very big pedigree of racers, you know, with his dad and his uncle, you know, that Schumacher name.
yeah,
And to get him into IndyCar, yeah, what a fantastic opportunity for him as a young driver to come out of the shadows of maybe dad and uncle and say, "This is
yeah.
me." You know, look at me, guys. Look what I can do. So yeah, a lot of hype about him, and let's see what happens because we know that in the past. Some of the F1 drivers that have jumped to India have caused a few problems with some of their maneuvers, their overtakes, and been in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they're not used to rubbing either when the racing gets rough.
No, which will definitely lead into one of our drivers later on. But as for Mick, I've always been a big fan of Mick, and as you say, it'd
Yeah,
be nice to sort of see him have the opportunity to step
yeah,
out of the shadow, which he had the opportunity to, I would say, with World Endurance Championship.
there
We
you go.
saw him get on the podium a couple of times with the Alpine there.
There we go.
Um, my understanding is he was a very well thought of driver there in the WEC.
Mm,
He appears to be very well liked.
mm,
I personally feel that he had a bit of an unfair run in Formula One. He's shown he can win. Formula 3, Formula 2, he's a champion of both.
hmm.
Goes to Formula One, and he probably, for me, went with the team with the most unforgiving, um, would worse be the right choice of words here. Gunter Steiner isn't exactly known to be a very man management style kind of team principal, especially with Drive to Survive coming on the horizon. He was he was happy to jump with the I'm going to get my 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
And I feel that he was such the worst choice for him there. Um, I mean, you look Alfa Romeo when Charles Leclerc came through, just to stray off slightly, he had Fred Vasseur. That can very much be the difference between going on to have a successful career and ending up without the drive.
yeah,
And I think this is what we've seen with Mick. He has the ability to win.
yeah.
We've seen him drag that. I mean, they've stated that the Kick Sauber over the years was a tractor. If that was a tractor, that Haas car in 21, I believe it was a combine harvester.
Mm,
It was an absolute shambles. He was like 3 seconds a lap slower than the rest of the grid.
yeah.
How can you judge a rookie with another rookie teammate on that?
You can't. And
You know,
I think he's going to take that experience with him. I think this is going to come with him, James. And I think because he learned from that. And as we know, he did go on to endurance and he proved he could drive in those endurance teams. So I'm hoping that all of that experience is going to come with him. And he's going to say to people, look, I've learned from this, I've taken from that. And do you know what? Watch this space. I'm coming for you. And I really, really hope he has a great season. I really do.
yeah, most definitely. And he's not just coming in here to make up numbers. I mean, he's
No,
stating he wants a challenge.
he does want it.
Whether he
He
can
wants
do
to take,
that with
yeah,
Rahal Letterman, that's
yeah.
another question. Again, it's one of those sort of mid-ground cars. It's not quite up there with the Chip Ganassi and McLarens and
But they
Team
might throw
10s.
extra to it. Who knows what he can do in that pack? What can he do? He's used to driving in a pack, being in endurance racing. He's used to having
Yeah,
to negotiate other cars. Let's see how he does pack racing. Let's hopefully, you never know. We just don't know,
yeah.
do we?
Very exciting. Look forward to seeing how he does and if he can
Yeah.
come out with his sort of father's shadow.
Yeah.
Um, So we're going to move on to now the rookie that I'm personally most looking forward to seeing this season,
Hmm.
Dennis Hauger.
Yes,
Of course,
indeed.
most IndyCar fans that follow Indy Next will be familiar with Dennis. What a rookie
Hmm.
season there.
What a
Um,
season. What a
6
season.
wins. I believe it was 11 podiums out of 14 races.
He did amazing job.
He smashed it.
He
The poles on top of
absolutely,
that,
yeah.
phenomenal.
He did smash
Um,
it. He made a real statement that I'm coming up to the big boy teams now. I want to go full Indy. And yeah, I'm with you on this one, James. I'm really looking to see what Dennis can do.
yeah, I mean, and he's a nice guy as well. I mean, I was fortunate to speak to Dennis after he was in between St. Petersburg and Barber
Oh, okay,
last
cool.
year during that stupid layoff. What was it? It was like a 5 week layoff in between, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was fortunate to speak to him. A really down to earth guy. Just loves racing.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
again, he's had a lot of hype over him over the years. He was part of that Red Bull Drivers Academy. He's now, for me, I believe he's the guy they want as the future at Andretti. I think he is the guy that is gonna probably end up taking Marcus Ericsson's seat when it becomes available. And what a way to learn. I mean, if you can slip him into Marcus Ericsson's seat next door to Will Power for a couple of seasons to learn,
Ooh.
you know, there's the direction. You know, we know he's got the Dale Coyne's got the backing of Andretti. You know, it's there. It's
It's
on the
it's
table.
it's almost it's like a chessboard with Dennis, isn't it? It's about moving him in the right places at the right time, but giving him a master to learn from. And if you can take that info from there, if you can look at the setups he's doing and learn from that, he's definitely worth that investment because he's a young gun. He's got a lot of years left in him for racing, and this is a guy that has got championships in him. Let's be totally honest. This guy has got the potential to be a multi-champ winner.
Oh, undoubtedly. I mean, he shows he can win championships over the season. He's
Yeah,
won the F3. He won the Indy Next last season, like we've
yeah,
said.
yeah.
The guy knows how to win. He
He
has
does.
that desire to win.
Yeah.
Um, the question I always sort of try and get out of people when talking about rookies coming into IndyCar is what would be classified as a successful season? I mean, realistically, are
Uh,
we expecting Dennis Hauger and Mick to go out there and get a win? Probably not. Are we
no,
expecting podiums? I wouldn't
maybe,
say it's off
maybe
the cards.
top 10 finishes. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
where I think between the top 10 beginning of the season and maybe getting very close to the top five towards the end of the season. And I think you could say that was a good season for that person. That's a great big tick in the book for next year. So not
yeah.
too much pressure. The pressure's there.
No, but to
They're under
show they can
pressure
compete at the
anyway.
high
But
end.
yeah, I think top 10 and then towards the top five by the end of the season would be phenomenal. But if you stayed in the top 10 towards the end of the season, you're still in that top 10. You're still saying, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm surviving the packs. I'm surviving the pit stops, all the changes, tire changes. So I think that's where I would be looking, James.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, to be honest. I mean, we need to see they can compete and score points.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
realistically, and again, no disrespect to Dale Coyne, but they're not a car you're expecting to see on the top step.
No. So if he
Um,
gets it in there, come
yeah,
on.
exactly. Could it be another surprise podium
Yeah.
like Renus VK last year? Potentially. I mean, it's on the table,
The
and
car's
he's a
got the
complete.
ability and the driver's definitely got the ability. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's a different sort of pressure to Mick as well.
mm,
Mick coming in as the rookie, he's got the experience in Formula One and the family
yeah.
name, and he's got that sort of pressure coming in of I
Mm,
deserve to be a single seater racer.
yes.
Dennis has got the pressure of I have just gone out, decimated my opposition in Indy Next, and now I'm the future of
Yeah.
IndyCar.
Yeah.
Um, Different sort of pressures,
Yeah, definitely,
you
definitely.
know.
Because he's got people going, yeah, but you're a race winner, you're a proven driver. In that class, yes, but this is a big step up.
Yeah,
Indy is a completely different, from going from the junior teams up to the senior teams. This is a different class of racing. We all know those of us that are hooked to IndyCar racing, we're hooked for a reason.
yeah,
One lap can change a whole race.
no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So let's go on to his teammate next. One of the
Yeah.
guys you was talking about earlier. Another former Formula One racer, and as you said, this might have been the guy he was referring to when you said about they haven't always got the best history in collisions. Mr. Roman Grosjean.
Oh, it
Um,
might just have been that person.
yeah, I had a feeling he was hinting at that one. Um, he's come into this with a lot of. There's a lot of people saying he shouldn't have had the seat.
Yep.
He's been given the opportunities previously, and he
Yep.
hasn't really done anything with it. Other people are saying it's an experienced IndyCar racer to bring in. Probably was going to be cheaper than the likes of Connor Daly to sit next to Dennis.
Hmm.
Um, I'm kind of on both sides of that.
Yeah.
He's got experience to come in, but you're not expecting him to come in necessarily as a number one driver.
No.
But then I also get it of I mean, he was a reserve driver at Prima for part of last season.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, he couldn't get a look in with Prima. I just don't see that being the direction. For me, it is signaling one and done. 1 year, get him in there. I don't believe he was the first choice option, which is why I think we've seen the announcement so late in the season.
Yeah, and I also think you're absolutely right with the one and done. If he can prove himself this time without taking out all the opposition, without, costing the team millions of pounds for rebuilds of cars, etc., and fines, if he has a season where he's learned from last season by sitting on the sidelines and coming back in, maybe he's got an extended future. But I really think that at this time they're saying, let's make this season count if you want another one. Again,
Yeah,
I'm not a pro at this, James, as you know. I'm just an avid fan that loves it, but we do know he was involved in a lot of tangles, and there was a lot of anger on the track side
yeah.
after the pits. We saw him clashing on, there's a lot of baggage. That's all I'm going to say with that one.
Right throughout racing as well, because let's be honest, he was one of the collision guys in Formula One.
Hmm.
Let's not forget that.
He's got a bit of a proven track record, let's be honest.
Yeah, he does have a record of tangling with people. So we're probably going to leave that there, Roman, because that one could go on for a while. We're going to go into the last driver I want to look at coming in. Another rookie,
Yep.
Brazilian. Us McLaren fans like our Brazilians, Keith.
Yep.
Caio Collet, I believe is how you say his
Yes.
name.
Yes, there he
Two,
is.
two seasons in Indy NXT. He had
Hmm.
third in his debut season. He was
Hmm.
running up to Dennis last year.
Hmm.
He was sort of the guy, other than maybe Lockie Hughes, that sort of put any sort of pressure whatsoever, if you could call it pressure, on Dennis.
Hmm.
Basically, if Dennis wasn't on the top step, Kyle was.
Hmm.
Um, Still, as we know, I believe Kyle had 3 wins last year. That's half of what Dennis had, obviously. Um, he was the guy that filled in when Dennis did manage to get on that top step.
He
Great
absolutely did.
driving ability. I kind of excited to see how he's going to get on with Santino Ferrucci. Um, I love Santino. I
I'm
think he's a
glad you
cat.
said it though, because that was my thoughts as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great character. He's sort of the opposite of what Team Pence wanted with um, David Malukas.
Yeah.
You've got Dave, that's very much the PR savvy guy.
Yeah.
He's the boy next door. He's the Harvard graduate sort of persona. You've got Santino, that is brash. He's outspoken, and he's probably going to down a can of beer on the side with the fans if he crashes out.
Okay.
Not if, he will. We've seen it.
We know
You
he's
know,
going to.
he's going to. He is going to. Um,
But
but
he's a
you need
he's
people
again,
like Santino there.
yeah. He's a racer. Santino is known for his antics. You either love him or you hate him. And he's got a real mix of fans going around there, hasn't he? So, but he's there. He's doing it. He's upsetting the apple cart and he's racing hard when he can. So,
Very much so. And another driver with so much ability. So it'd be good to see
yeah,
Colette go there and
yeah,
how he matches up.
yeah.
Um, if he gets blown out of the water by Santino, then I would say he probably doesn't have a long future in Indy. Um,
Probably
but if he
right.
can compete with Santino, then he opens the question of people think Santino has a lot of ability and he could go on to good, greater things. So you could argue the same with Colette. If he can hang in there, if he can put in a couple of, like we said earlier, a couple of top 10 finishes,
That's what he needs.
it opens that door for going forward.
Yeah, he
Um,
does.
and again, he's Brazilian. I mean, racing is in Brazilians' blood. I've yet to see a Brazilian racer that doesn't want to win. And I got no reason to believe it's going to be any different with Colette.
No, absolutely not. We know that they are passionate racing fans. They're passionate drivers. Yeah, it'd be nice to see another young blood coming out onto the track and, and showing us his racecraft because that's what we really, ultimately what we want is good racing, close racing, clean racing. But we want to see that racecraft. We want to see those overtakes, that dash to the side, using push to pass at that right moment and getting it working.
Yeah, for sure. So before we get on to the bit that I'm most looking forward to, talking about our beloved McLaren,
Okay.
um, the bit that most people tune in and are probably thinking, well, hang on, this is a papaya pod. This is the McLaren fan. We haven't really spoke about McLaren. It's coming,
Oh,
guys. It's coming.
we got time.
We're going to quickly touch on to the opening race of the season. Of course, we said earlier it's in 5 days' time, St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Um, it's a temporary street circuit, obviously, as we know.
Yep.
I've actually written down the measurements: 2.897 kilometers, so just short of
Hmm.
3 kilometers in racing
Hmm.
distance, 100 laps. Last season's race was very much a mixed bag for me as far as the McLaren fans concerned. Of
Mm.
course, Palou went on to win the race. Scotty Dixon in second place with Newgarden in what up until the last race of the season was probably his best performance. He
Yeah.
came in third. I say it was a mixed bag for the main reason of I don't know how much you remember last season's race, Keith, but Christian Lundgaard was in question of that podium for 3 quarters of the race.
He was showing some real speed and some real
Yeah,
movement.
I
Yeah.
mean, he when the pit stops, he went for the gamble, didn't he? He went for the tire gamble. He only went for the one stop until very deep. I think it was like lap 670, there or thereabouts, which unfortunately backfired. And of course, he ended
It,
up coming in around about eighth.
yeah, it did,
Um,
unfortunately.
I believe it was, yeah, was it eighth?
It was certainly way down the pack because I remember,
Yeah,
as you saying, 3 quarters of the race, I'm thinking, come on, we've got this.
yeah.
What an opener.
Yeah, it was eighth spot because Pato came in. He came in just outside the top 10. He was in
Yep.
11th. Of course, Nolan didn't have the best starts of the season. He didn't even get out of the first lap, did he? If I remember right. Um, so as McLaren fans, we will certainly be hoping for a better opening race this year. Because of course we went on to a very good run of podiums after that. You
Didn't we
know,
just?
so if we can open up a bit better this year, lay down that the standard that we're looking for. If we're going to challenge Palou over the season,
We need to be able to push that guy to the limit.
one of our two drivers needs to win this opening race.
Yeah.
I will say two, and again, this is no disrespect to Nolan. I like the guy; he's a lovely kid. But if you were looking for wins to come out of this McLaren team currently, Arrow McLaren, sorry, you're looking at Pato and Christian for
Yeah,
me.
I think kind of without being cruel, I think that's exactly where we're looking. We're looking at because we know that Christian can be very, very fast. And again, he doesn't mind getting his elbows out. Pato has got just racecraft. That guy oozes racecraft. You
Yeah,
watch his fast his hands in the others would spin off and he'll recorrect it. Nolan's got the ability, and they saw that in him as a youngster. But what he's got to do, I think, again, this is from my perspective, is he mustn't keep getting swallowed up by the pack. He's got to get those elbows out and say, "No, I'm not getting swallowed. I'm gonna do this." You know,
yeah, and I think a lot of this comes down to his qualifying pace.
yeah.
I think this is what we've seen a lot with Nolan. When he's qualified quite well, he
Mm,
tends to have a reasonable finish. Um, Again, he's another kind of Roman in disguise. He is prone to tangling where you perhaps wouldn't want him to.
yep.
Um, but for the majority of the season, he was sort of struggling to get inside that top 20 qualifying. And if you were qualifying so far down that grid, unless you have incredible talent, and I don't just mean a good IndyCar driver, I mean top level, you're talking about your Palous, you're talking about your Patos and New Gardens, Powers, this sort of ability, you're probably not going to bring it back.
No,
Um,
no.
so that's where I feel the biggest improvement we need to see from Nolan is, and he could very
Yeah.
well start stringing some good performances out of that.
Mm.
Um, but just to look into then our beloved team, you're wearing the papaya yourself. I've got this season's IndyCar jersey on, the new one. We are here for Arrow McLaren. You know,
Without a shadow of a doubt.
the fan favorite. You know, is Pato. There's no doubt about it. For me, he's the biggest face in IndyCar. He sells the most merch. He has the fans queuing up to see him. He had Kit Kats all over. His sponsorship. He broke the 100 race mark at McLaren last season. 106 races, I think he took it up to. Surprisingly, only 9 wins. And I say
Yeah.
surprisingly because for someone that's so popular, you would probably think you would have seen more wins out of him. And again, that's no disrespect on his talent. I think Pato was incredible. But I was really surprised when I seen that figure that he didn't have double figures in wins. It did
Yeah.
take me back a bit. Um, 32 podiums, which that answers a lot more. And I suppose a lot, if you're going to be really critical, you would say he's only got 9 wins because he's been in that era where Alex Palou has just won 3 back to back. You know, this is probably why he hasn't had more wins to his name.
And also, he joined us at a time when Arrow McLaren were really just starting to gain their feet and their speed again as a top team.
Yeah,
You know, so he came to us as a very young driver with an amazing talent. And we've watched the Arrow McLaren team grow, change, and build to becoming, you know, one of the, if not the top teams that people are looking at. And as you said, he is such a lovable character.
yeah,
When I was at Indy last year, I diversified for a couple of seconds. When I was at Indy last year, you queue up for all the drivers come out and do a signing, which is something that F1 should learn to do as well. Trust me. They all come out, and the biggest queue is for Pato, and it goes
yeah.
as far as you can see. And eventually, they have to bring out a marker and go, "Sorry, guys, we won't get you through. He hasn't got enough time."
Nah, no way.
He's likable, he's friendly, he's approachable. He's a poster boy for IndyCar and Arrow McLaren, let's be honest.
Undoubtedly. And I mean, you was fortunate enough to meet him, Keith. I mean, if I manage to figure out the editing ability, I'll pop the photo up on screen at some point by here now for people to see. You was fortunate enough to meet Pato and his grandfather, I believe.
I met Pato's grandfather, and that man was just superb. He was his granddad. We had an interpreter working with us, and they were talking to his granddad, and we were saying how much he was a great boy he is. And his granddad, you could see the pride leaving granddad. Granddad was just made up in life. I felt really honored to meet granddad at the Pato stand. It was just phenomenal. And Pato himself, he was going to come down to me for a photograph in the wheelchair, but I really wanted to stand up for the photograph. I really felt that I wanted to. It's a silly thing. I wanted to stand on my own 2 legs. Now, normally you'd have thought he'd have gone, okay, well, give us a shout when you're ready. No, 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 no. He came across the barrier and helped me stand up out of the wheelchair to get that photograph. So not only did I get a photograph, but the guy
Yeah.
helped me to get up to make
Says
that
a lot about
photograph
the
happen.
guy. And this is why so many people, even the people that's not McLaren fans,
He's just
they
amazing.
tend to like Pato. You don't hear much negative about him,
No.
which is
I
quite
mean,
rare in this sport. You
yeah,
know,
he had a couple of bad luck races, if we can use the word luck.
yeah, that's
You
fair
know,
to say. Indy
yeah,
500 was a prime example of that. You
yeah.
know,
He bounced back so many times in the Indy 500. It was like if anybody was trying to get that win, he
yeah,
was. He bounced back so many times, bless him.
yeah, and no doubt we'll have a big Indy 500 episode this season at some point. So we're not going to go
Boom.
into that one too much. Um, but for me, Pato's got to be the guy that we are looking at going into that one. He's dying for that win. Second in 2024. Um, was putting up a very good race in 2025.
Yep.
Until the unfortunate ending.
Yep.
Um, such as you say, such a lovable guy. And what better person to have as the poster boy for your team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he knows how to speak to the crowd. He knows how to speak to the press. He's genuinely a really nice guy as well. It's not just done for the camera. But he's watched our team grow. He came into Arrows as they were growing, and he is obviously growing with the team, taking the team to where it wants to be. And I would, before he moves on to perhaps another team, which obviously I don't want him to, but what I would love to do is see him not only get the Indy 500 win, but that I'd like to see that number one. I'd love to see him be, you know, IndyCar champ as well, and the Arrow McLaren take that championship for themselves. It's what we want.
Undoubtedly. And for me, and I've got a bit more hope and expectation on this with historically, if you have success with a team in IndyCar, you seem to stay there. As
That's
we
what I'm
said,
hoping.
we,
That's
we
what I'm
spoke about
hoping.
Will Power,
Yeah,
Joseph Newgarden.
yeah.
I mean, these guys have sort of been there for a long period of time.
Mm.
Um, and I think the same with Pato. He's very much as big a part of McLaren as all McLaren is of him. You know,
Absolutely. He's our reserve Formula One driver. Zach absolutely, he loves what Pato can do, or he wouldn't be our Formula One reserve driver.
Exactly. And I personally, this could be, the optimistic fan in me, but I don't think we will see Pato racing for another IndyCar team. I think if he leaves Arrow McLaren, it is more than likely to get a Formula One seat,
Absolutely.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
or inevitably a different style of racing. I don't know what else he'd be interested in going into. I don't see him pulling on an Andretti race suit or a Penske race suit. I just don't see it.
No,
That could be the optimistic fan in me, but I just can't see it happening.
no, I'm going to be with you, James. I think we're both optimistic in that respect. I think he's got as much papaya blood running through him as we have,
Yeah,
because that team adopted him. They took him on when they were struggling as a team, and look what he's done. Look what he's
yeah,
achieved as for a team, and he's got his race engineers. He works well with them. They love him. We
yeah.
love him. I mean, yeah,
No doubt about it. And I really do hope he can manage to go on and get that Indy 500 win this year because it's going to end up being like a weighted blanket over him otherwise.
it will hold it. It will
It-
hold over him because
for sure. I mean, we've all seen those photos of 2024. I mean, your heart breaks every time you see it,
yeah,
almost as much as his does.
yeah, yeah.
So let's just hope he can get on that, he can get that pint of milk this year and get it down him.
Well, I have got a special T-shirt waiting, James. I'm gonna let you know. I do have a T-shirt that says it's white, it's papaya, and it does say I'm only here for the milk. And I will be wearing that T-shirt when he takes that win.
Yeah, that might you might have really revealed your clothing for the Indy 500 special. That might be there.
You know,
Um,
I'm desperate for that win.
so we'll move on to the number seven.
Yeah.
As a fan, my personal favourite in the team, Christian Lundgaard.
Hmm.
Again, big Pato fan, and Nolan. Don't take it away from them. But just for me, I'm a Christian Lundgaard guy. I love his style of racing. I followed him since Formula 3.
The boy's got race in him.
Yeah, he pulled off some incredible overtakes last year. The one on I forget, he was either on Will Power or Scott Dixon. He was one of the old heads on the corkscrew last year.
Yes, yes.
Um, what an absolutely phenomenal overtake.
Can't think which one it was, but yes, what an overtake.
I know he was definitely one of those two. And I can't
What
remember
an
which one it
overtake.
was because whoever he overtook at the corkscrew was next in line.
Yeah.
So it was either Will he overtook and then caught up to
But it
Dixon or
was
the other way round.
it was a move and a
Um,
half.
oh, absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, he didn't get on the top step last year. Um,
Not for the want of trying, though.
not for the
Not
want
for
of
the want of
trying.
trying.
6 podiums, which
Yeah,
I think in the number seven McLaren was a very, very good achievement. He got that P1, which again was a big moment for him.
was definitely.
Um, and and he did what many of us didn't think probably was going to happen at the start of the season. He
Yep.
pushed Pato for a
Yes, he did.
big stage of that season, which
Yes,
I
he did.
think brought the best out in Pato, which, it's no surprise Pato himself ended up finishing second in the championship.
Hmm.
Okay, he was well off of Alex Palou. Um, but
Who
he,
wasn't?
yeah, who wasn't exactly. Palou is very much a generational talent. Um, so to come second, he was the best of the rest when and Christian for up until sort of the last four races of the season, there was some hope and expectation that he was going to come third in that championship. It was there. It was there for the taking.
He definitely was. He was definitely a great signing for us
Yeah.
as a team. I mean, to sign him and get him in that number seven was a very, very good move. He's a solid racer. He's got that skill. He doesn't mind getting his elbows out. He's not worried about being in the pack. He can work his way through the pack. He can
Hmm.
make pace through the pack. He doesn't get swallowed. He races hard. And I think that this year, with him and Pato pushing each other, with this team behind him, with their new HQ, with everything they've got now behind that team,
Yeah.
with all the extra stuff they've got in place. Yep, I say watch this space this year for number seven, because I think number seven is going to be quite a prominent number.
Yeah. And for me, it's only a matter of time till he gets that win in Papaya.
And he's a nice guy as well. He's a
Yeah,
really
I mean, he he has the ability to win. We've seen it in
Yes,
Toronto in 23, I believe it was,
he can do it.
with Rahal Letterman. So he has the ability to win. He has the
Yeah.
ability, and a lot of races last year. He didn't end up winning, but he led a lot of races for a
He,
good chunk of time.
he certainly did. And that shows his maturity in the racing, that he can hold the pace and set the pace. Sometimes, again, last year, it was bad tyre choice or a bad pit stop, or just as we know, when those cautions start coming, they just keep coming. And that
Yeah.
for a lot of our drivers, if we're not careful, if we're in the wrong setup in those cautions when they're being thrown out, it can ruin your race, can't it? You've only got to get
Yeah,
right.
and unfortunately, that was what we've seen quite a bit, as you say, and a couple of tyre gambles, as we said, with St.
Mm,
Petersburg. There was another race specifically.
yep,
It passes me by which one it was now, but that was the same. It was very much a tyre gamble. He was out
yep,
on the track far after everyone else,
yep,
and the tyres just fell off.
yep.
And
And as the very late and great, as our lovely Tom Gaymore likes to say, and we know we all love a bit of Tom
you all love
on
Tom.
IndyCar, cautions breed cautions, and off they go. Because we have it on our list, don't we? On our bingo card. How many cautions will this race throw up?
Yeah,
Because we know they're going to start coming.
yeah, it's
And
it's,
of
it's
course, the tyre
inevitable.
gamble.
At this stage, it's almost as much of a guarantee as a Palou win. Unfortunately.
Yes.
Um, Caution, Peru win. Which are you more likely to get? It's there or thereabouts.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, as I say, I'm a big fan of Lundgaard.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him on that top step this year. Maybe get a couple of P1s here and there. And
Yeah.
between us, if between Pato and Christian,
Could take the championship.
yeah, I mean, if they can pinch a win here and there off of Peru,
Get the
you
constructors.
know, Kyle Kirkwood, I think he ended up with 3 wins last
Mm.
season. Scotty Dixon had a win. Will Power.
So we've got that ability to take the constructors. We've
Yeah, oh, undoubtedly.
even with Nolan, we know that we've got three talented drivers. And I'm really hoping that this season, I know that Nolan's been away doing some other driving as
Yeah,
well, and I'm really hoping that that's going to help that maturity, because he's a lovely kid, and
yeah,
I can say the word kid, ladies and gents, because I'm old enough to be his granddad. Trust me. He's a lovely kid. He really is. He's such a people person as well. And I would love to see him really make Papaya proud this year and say, that was a bad year last year. This is my
yeah.
year. 3 cars in the top 10. We could, with all 3 cars, pushing for top 10 finishes. We could be the Constructors' Championship. McLaren could have, and Arrow McLaren could have side by side championships. You just never know.
It's what dreams are made of.
Yeah,
Obviously, unfortunately for Nolan, he's yet to have a podium.
that's the problem. We
Um,
need to get that one so he gets that bit between his teeth.
this is it. I would sort of be, for me personally, following on from the season he had last year, which
Yeah,
ended up, he just topped over 200 points, I think it was, Nolan. I think a successful season for him would kind of be where we are judging the rookies at. Consistent top 10,
top
knocking on
10.
the door of a podium.
Yep.
If he can do that alongside what we saw Christian and Pato do last year, I think, as you say, Arrow McLaren would probably be bang on for the championship then. And I think it would legitimately be 3 great drivers there to build a foundation around,
And that's what they're
move
looking
forward
for, isn't it?
with.
That's what they're looking for. They're looking to develop their drivers. They're looking to develop a foundation where our team can sit loud and proud, and prove itself. And we know we've got that ability. Would we have been saying this 4 or 5 years ago? No. We were hit and miss, weren't we? Let's be totally
Yeah.
honest. And then, McLaren and Arrow, they came together. We built a team, and we're building on greatness now. And we've just got, it's a team that people do look at. In the past, it was, we always are looking at the other team constructors, but now, Arrow and McLaren are there. They're in that mix all the time. They're being measured against other teams at times, and other teams are measuring up against them now, saying, "Can we beat the Arrow McLaren team?" Look at their
Yeah.
stops, look at this, and that's a well-oiled machine. So
It is, and as you say, for me, it's only going to get stronger. Like you say,
yeah,
they just opened up that incredible looking building.
that lovely technology center for Arrow
Yeah,
McLaren, yeah.
I mean, it looks phenomenal. All state of the art equipment. They got the pit stop, machinery built in there, so they could practice their pit stops.
They've got great
Um,
sims for this. it's the great
Yeah,
setup for them to get in the sim and have a go.
the
And
sim setup. They
yeah,
probably got the most charismatic team principal in all of IndyCar. Tony Kanaan, who doesn't
oh,
love the guy? He's
who
phenomenal.
doesn't love a bit of TK? Come on.
Ah, he's great, and he's great for the sport. People
Yes.
love him. Again, a natural winner.
Yeah. I just,
Um,
why are you saying that? I just so happens that sitting on my shelf,
Look at that.
there is the TK Arrow
DK,
McLaren.
love it. Absolutely love it.
He's again, he's such a, and I was so chuffed when Zach got him over as principal when we kept TK.
Yeah,
Um, it was just brilliant. And of course, we're going to have a guest driver.
we are.
Clearly, it's not going to be Carl Larson this year, but
It's not.
we
There was a
have got
few
another.
names being floated around.
Yeah,
Valentino Rossi was one being floated
it
around.
was, and I was hoping.
Yeah, and there was kind of very quiet rumors and talks about Fernando Alonso again.
Hmm.
But of course, Keith, who have we got?
We know he's coming. Is he going to be driving the number 17? Is he going to be that? Yes, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Can he do it? Come on, let's do it. Let's you share the name. Come on, let's do this between us. I'm sharing his
Um,
number 17. Let's do
yeah.
this.
And another Indy 500
He is.
winner, which we are hoping is going to help inspire Pato to finally get there.
It'd
Mr.
be nice if we could
Ryan,
get all four cars working this year where we're not having to lose one at the early stages.
exactly, exactly, makes a world of difference. Mr. Ryan Hunter-Ray,
Right.
um,
And to Ray.
such a huge name in IndyCar over the
What a big
years.
name to be sitting in a papaya motor as well.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
He's not past it.
no, I mean, you talk about winners. I mean, you've still been there or thereabouts as recent as about 2 years ago, I believe it was.
I think that I mean we had some great publicity with Carl Larson trying to do the double.
Yeah,
He did wear the 17 well, and he did take it to where we wanted it to be. And he was a great guy to have in the car. But putting Mr. Hunter Ray back in a car, racing that number, this is a guy that knows IndyCar. He knows how to race. He's a proven racer.
yeah.
Am I looking forward to it? Oh, hell yes.
Oh yeah. And again, no doubt. I mean, we'll save the chunk of this for our special episode that'll come up a bit later in the year. But as you say, what a name to have. And I mean, for me, I mean, we all kind of got a little bit excited with the thought of Valentino Rossi possibly getting
Yeah,
behind an
well,
IndyCar. But we've come out winners out of this. I mean, to have an Indy 500 winner as your fourth driver, I mean, however great of a driver Kyle Larson is, and there's talks about is he the ultimate driver and this and that, well, that's a debate for a different day. But Kyle Larson is the face of NASCAR.
yes.
Ryan Hunter-Ray knows how to win in IndyCar.
And
There's
will
the
I be
big
buying
difference for me.
and will I be buying merch with his number on it? You just know it's going to happen. The bank account's going to cry, but it's going to happen.
Take my money already.
Take it. I've got
It's
the number
inevitable.
17 cap ready to go. Let's do
Yeah,
this.
it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
I've got my
Um,
Kyle Larson one. It's on the wall.
it
Uh,
is. I can see it in the background
it's
there,
there
Keith.
with my Pato ones and that, and it would be great to get another set of cards like that with Mr. Hunter Ray in that with a signed cap there as well. So watch this space. That's all I'm going
Watch
to
this
say.
space indeed.
I have got
Speaking
people. I've got friends that are going to IndyCar this year. I've got friends that are going armed with a pen,
with a
and I'm
pen.
really hoping they might bring me back a signature of
The
one of those
deadliest tool
caps.
in all of IndyCar, the pen, the Sharpie, if you will.
Got to have the
Um,
Sharpie. Although Pato carries his own Sharpie.
he
I'm
does
just
carry his
saying,
own. He
he
does,
carries
yeah.
his own.
Uh, just in case he runs out, you can never be too sure, can you?
He just stops whenever he gets an opportunity. He does. Children will look at him and they're holding up their caps, going Pato. And do you know what? He doesn't brush them aside. He leans down, he signs a cap and says thank you. And that to me says so much about the person.
Yeah, very much so. And again, I think that's a big drive throughout IndyCar,
It is.
specifically at Arrow McLaren. Pato, as you said, he's great with the kids.
Be there for
Christian
the family.
Lundgaard, as you know, Keith, I've shared the video with you.
Yep.
My
Yep.
my son, who has been going through a bit of surgery, Christian sent him a video wishing
He
him the
did.
best.
Oh, come on.
Again, something he didn't have to do, but it
No,
makes the world a difference for the young fans.
It really does. And the younger
Nolan
fans are the
Seagal.
future of the racing.
Yeah, I mean, Nolan, I shared a video on the Instagram a couple of days ago of the testing in Phoenix, I believe it was, and he was a little girl, gave him a card. I don't know if you've seen the video, Keith.
Oh, it's
It's up
lovely.
there. It got some great comments and interactions on our socials.
It was lovely.
But it was just a lovely thing to see, you
Yeah.
know. And all these guys, as you say, they go through hundreds of thousands of fans. And it doesn't matter if it's fan number one or fan number 7,000. They're giving just as much special treatment and thought as what they did with number one.
And I tell you, I'm going to give you an example of how they are. This is what makes me. They're not set up to be prima donnas. They've not got security around them like Formula One. You can approach them. You are allowed to speak to them. I did my Pato signing where he stood me up after practice and we did the signature. The next day, I was actually lucky to see him again in the driver lineup. And I gave him and he went, I remember you. How are you doing today? Did you have fun yesterday? Just saying.
Simple thing that makes a
Little
world of
things like
difference.
that. And, watching the drivers waving to the kids when they do their driver parade coming up through the town through Indy, they get out the car and shake the hands of the little ones because they know that they're worshipped. These guys
Yeah,
are, the kids have got them right up there on a pedestal. They're little heroes. And these
yeah.
guys, they recognize that and they want to be there. And I think it's a much better setup. I could talk about this for hours, so I'm going to stop now because
Yeah,
I just
maybe
love
we
the
should
way
do a
that they
special
set up.
episode on that, Keith.
They look after their fans, and that is so important.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a perfect idea for an episode there, Keith, in itself. You know, the difference between the organization of IndyCar and
Yes,
Formula One and how they treat their fans and the differences. Because as you say, there's an hour-long episode there,
easy,
quite
easy.
easily, you know. So I think this is a good spot, Keith, to finish off our first IndyCar episode.
I look forward to the review.
Yeah, it's not going to be very long for our followers because following St. Petersburg, which of course, as we said, is in 5 days' time, myself and Keith will be reviewing the race,
We
bring
will.
all the highs and lows,
We will.
hopefully more highs than it is lows for our Papaya brothers.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but we'll go through it all. So we leave it there for this week,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next week.
And remember, guys, never stop racing. We've got
Never
this.
stop racing.